Genesis chapter 39. And Joseph was carried down into Egypt, and Potiphar acquired him, the eunuch of Pharaoh, the chief guard, an Egyptian man, from out of the hands of Ishmaelites leading him there. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a man succeeding in things. And he was in the house by his master the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and whatever as much as he should do, the Lord prospered the way by his hands. And Joseph found favor before his master, and was well-pleasing to him. And he placed him over his house, and all as much as was his he gave through the hand of Joseph. And it came to pass, after the placing him over his house, and over all as much as was his, that the Lord blessed the house of the Egyptian on account of Joseph. And he became a blessing for his master in all his possessions in the house, and in his field. And he committed to care all as much as was his into the hand of Joseph. And he knew not the things of his own, not one thing, except of the bread which he ate. And Joseph was good to the sight, and handsome in the appearance, exceedingly. And it happened after these things, and the wife of his master put her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, "Come to bed with me." But he was not willing. And he said to the wife of his master, "If my master knows not, on account of me, one thing in his house, and all as much as is his which he gave unto my hands, and there does not exist in this house one thing outside of me knowing, nor is one thing secretly removed from me, besides you, on account of you being his wife, then how should I do this wicked thing and sin before God?" And when she spoke to Joseph day by day, and he did not obey her to sleep with her, to be intimate with her, that it came to pass on such a day, Joseph entered into the house to do his works, and no one was in the house inside. And she drew him by his clothes, saying, "Come to bed with me." And leaving behind his clothes in her hands, he fled and went forth outside. And it came to pass, as she saw that, leaving behind his clothes in her hands, he fled and went forth outside, that she called the ones being in the house and said to them, saying, "See, he brought in to us a Hebrew servant to mock us. He entered to me, saying, 'Come to bed with me.' And I yelled a great voice, and in his hearing that my voice was raised, and I yelled, leaving behind his clothes by me, he fled, and he went forth outside. And she left the clothes by herself until the master came into his house. And she spoke to him concerning these things, saying, 'The Hebrew servant entered to me, whom you brought in to us, to mock me. And he said to me, I will come to bed with you. But as he heard that I raised my voice and I yelled, leaving behind his clothes by me, he fled and went forth outside. And it happened, as his master heard the words of his wife, as much as she spoke to him, saying, Thus your servant did to me, that he was enraged with anger. And the master, taking Joseph, put him into the fortress, in the place in which the prisoners of the king were held, there in the fortress. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he poured down upon him mercy, and gave to him favor before the chief jailer. And the chief jailer gave the jail over to the hand of Joseph. And all the ones being taken away, as many as were in the jail, and all as much as they do there, he was the one doing it. For not was the chief jailer of the jail knowing anything concerning him, not one thing. For all was through the hand of Joseph, because of the reason the Lord being with him. And as much as he did, the Lord prospered the way in his hands.